What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ALLSMITH. Today, I am pumped to introduce a good friend. We just chopped it up for a little bit offline. It was super cool. Got to share a little bit of the ALLSMITH story and hear some of his story. And he's a natural professional bodybuilder. He's a coach, a creator, and someone who's truly chosen the long road in a world addicted to shortcuts. While everyone is chasing the fast result, he's built his life around true consistency, around faith, around discipline, and helping people become stronger without sacrificing their relationships and experiences that make life beautiful. His content makes you laugh, his coaching makes you think, and his life reminds us that the best physiques are often built by the people who are the least interested in trying to prove something. He's not seeking external validation, and today isn't just about bodybuilding. It's not just about physique. It's not just about hard work. It's about identity. It's about purpose. It's about discipline, faith, and becoming someone you're proud to live with. I'm really excited to welcome Afolabi Adeoti, also known as Labi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Bryce.
Dude, I'm pumped to connect with you today. Before we jump into a really fun, deep, meaningful conversation, how was your workout today, bro? Like, how was that little pump session? Because those arms, I don't know if the camera's capturing that, but those things are as big as my torso right now, dog.
Hey, man, it was great. It was great. It was a nice little shoulder chest day. So I was able to get it in like an hour. So it was in and out. So it was.
What does a normal day look like for you? For people listening that are just like, hey, you know, I'm brand new to this. I want to listen to an expert. You know, what do like weekly splits kind of look like for you? Mm-hmm. And how long is a traditional session? Because our world often says, Labi, like more is better.
Of course.
And like you're a professional bodybuilder and you got it in an hour.
Yeah.
So like to kind of give understanding to people, what does like a weekly split look like for you? Mm-hmm. And then how long is a traditional session?
Yeah. So for me, I usually train 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, so just depends on how my body's feeling and how I'm recovering. So as far as split goes, usually it's a 4-day split. So it'll be quads on Monday, back on Tuesday, shoulders and chest on Wednesday, rest on Thursday, and then glutes and hamstrings on Friday. If I'm feeling good, if my shoulders are in my upper body feels recovered enough, then I'll probably do an extra shoulder day on Saturday. If not, if I need, a little bit more of a break, then I'll just rest on Saturday and Sunday and then repeat. So,
nice.
My current split is based, it might sound wonky because it doesn't sound like your typical upper-lower split or push-pull leg split. And that's just because of that split is specific to me and my improvement points for bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. So what I need to work on the most. So that's what it's tailored towards. Like if you notice, there's no biceps, no triceps. It's like that for a reason because my biceps and triceps are my strongest points. I don't need to work on that anymore. Otherwise, it's going to heavily offset my physique, make my shoulders look smaller and my legs, not as big as they should.
I really appreciate you sharing that because there really is an art to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And it's also not to say you're never working on biceps and triceps because the triceps are a secondary component to something like a shoulder press, a bench press. Mm-hmm. They may not be isolated as far as a skull crusher or, a rope tricep push down of some sort.
Yeah.
But it is very cool to hear how you've tailored it to things specific. I also wanted to pick your brain a little bit around how do you specify quads in relation to legs? Because there are going to be a variance as far as like elevating the heels, trying to pushing the knees forward, maybe doing things like sissy squats, more hack squats, a little bit less of like chasing the heaviest back squat you can possibly do, which would probably be a little bit more of a low bar, a little bit more of a hinge to shift the moment arm and things that you're very well versed in and understanding the science of bodybuilding and biomechanics.
Yeah.
A lot of people that listen to this show, are involved in the CrossFit or High Rocks or performance space. Mm-hmm. So in their brain, their measurable is around how fast was the workout and how much load did I lift.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's a measurable. It's not the measurable.
Yeah.
And it's like, in my spending time with you and watching how you curate very special wellness and fitness experiences for your clients, but also your community. You've done some really cool special events at Self-Made for your community. Big groups arrive too. I got to come to one of those.
Yeah, definitely. You're always welcome.
You're not making somebody be forced to performance. You're like, what are your goals? Cool. I want to hear that. I want to see you. Mm-hmm. And I want to meet you where you're at to help get them better. How do you curate that in your headspace? Because it's like working quads specifically is hard. So let's touch on that first.
Okay.
And then let me better understand how you curate the specificity for the individual and how the inner workings of your head work for program design.
Yeah. So as far as quads go, right? So making sure that we're, exercise selection is everything, right? So for me specifically, I'll use myself as an example, because quads is my biggest area of improvement, based off what judges' feedback have said on my previous shows. So the last 3-4 shows that I've done, it's just been about growing my quads, getting my quads bigger. And the reason being is because, a little backstory is that I actually never hit legs pretty much my entire time in college. I held the squat record at my high school back when I was playing football. Once I stopped playing football, got to college, I was like, oh, I don't need to hit legs anymore. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So I just stopped. I literally stopped hitting legs for like 3 years.
What was that squat record? I'm sure that was badass.
Back then, I was 16 or 17, 16 at the time. And it was 525?
Wow, 525 at 16 years old, man.
Yeah.
That's badass. Guys, if you're listening, there's genetic prowess here, but there's also work ethic that leads to that. So take note.
Yeah.
525 is not easy. I've trained a lot in my life. We're built very different, but my biggest squat ever was 485. And I earned every single pound. I'm not sure I could have hit 486.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so after that, I was like, okay, I don't want to hit legs because I just chose not to. No one's telling me I had to, so I didn't. And of course, some atrophy came from that. And I lost a lot of size in my legs, and I just focused on the show muscles, right, upper body, and hit a lot of arms. And so now, fast forward, I didn't know I was going to be doing bodybuilding, but that caught up to me. Now I'm like, okay, there are areas in my physique that are disproportionate, so I had to work on those. So back to quad training. It's about exercise selection, figuring out what exercises are going to be the best to where the quad's going to be stimulated the most, and that's going to be the prime mover. So
this episode is brought to you by ALLSMITH. If you've been listening for a while, you know this is bigger than just workouts. At ALLSMITH, fitness is the vessel. Life is the true mission. We help people upgrade not just their body, but their routines, their mindset, their energy, their confidence, their relationships, and their overall direction. Some people work with us in person through coaching, through accountability, through movement, through community, and through real human connection. Others choose to work with us online from anywhere in the world through customized programming, lifestyle design, habit building, check-ins, support, and a system built around your actual life. Because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is creating a life that feels aligned, resilient, energized, and truly sustainable. If you feel stuck, if you've been putting yourself absolutely last in all the things in your to-do list, if you want support, structure, accountability, and community that genuinely gives a damn, ALLSMITH might be your next step. Movement is the entry point. Your peak expression is the destination. Head over to allsmith.co or shoot me a message on Instagram at @TheRealBryceSmith, or shoot a message to our team at ALLSMITHCo, and let's build something beautiful. And the honesty of positioning of your feet.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
there are moments where you're like, man, I've got 15 minutes and I got to rush to a client, or I got to take a phone call. Like, just load up the bar, I'll figure it out. Yeah. But it's like, no.
Yeah.
We need to have the discipline and the understanding of biomechanics to pull those feet in a little bit to get that dorsiflexion of the ankle so the knees press forward a little bit more than what the world would say is safe.
Exactly.
In order to hit the quad. So it's like, I want to flex that right there.
Yeah.
Just to ensure people know your discipline, because I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm not an idiot. And it's like, I see it's like, homeboy could throw a few more plates on there, but that's not the goal today.
Right.
The goal is the quads. And that level of discipline, when you've got eyes and people on you all the time, you could shift that very easily in a moment of weakness.
Yeah.
And I want to share that level of psychological discipline to make sure you feel seen and understood, but also they can get a peek into your headspace.
Of course. Yeah. So, I mean, for example, one movement, probably my favorite quad movement is Smith machine squats.
Yeah.
So, and because that's usually the first thing I do on my quad days, sometimes I'll do a hack squat or a pendulum squat because those also bias the quads. But I like Smith machine so much. So whether it's Smith machine or hack squat or pendulum, feet placement, just like as you mentioned, is crucial. So I have to make sure that every time that I line up, naturally my feet externally rotate, and I have to pull them inwards this way and try to hold them in that position as much as possible. Get as much depth as I can going down to get a good stretch from my quads, and make sure I have my knees, a little bit more over my toes and driving through my toes to be able to push up, to be able to feel my quads. And I also slow down the tempo of when I go down as well. I'm not dropping. Like I guess one thing that I say to my clients is that pretend like you're an elevator. You're not a drop zone ride at the theme park. Okay, we're not dropping down super fast. You're an elevator, so be an elevator as you come down. I want
That's a cool cue.
Yeah, I want you to feel. The tension on your quads as you're going down. Right, once you get down there, stop, and then focus on really driving through your toes and pushing up.
Yeah, that's awesome because it really curates a mind-muscle connection.
Exactly,
and it's not just about like, basic squat mechanics. Jump your feet out shoulder width, toes out just a touch, drop your pockets below your knees.
Yeah. Keep
your torso upright, shoulders back and down, head in neutral, hold an object on your back, front rack, overhead, whatever, and then stand up. It's like, that's cool. And right, it doesn't make it wrong. Yeah. It just means an and case dependent on the goal. And that's what's so interesting to me that like I eventually want to get to in our conversation today is because it's challenging in a social media culture to be like, this is the right way to do this. You could very easily make a video and be like, you want jacked legs? Look at me. Do it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm specifically going after my quads.
Yeah.
For someone like me, that'd be very beneficial. I'm a very posterior dominant athlete. So it's like, dude, I'm listening to every single word like, oh, this is going to help. And also, like, I think we joked about it when I first came over from the CrossFit space. And I'm like, dude, the Smith machine is such bullshit. Because in my brain, I'm like, dude, you have this object that's controlling the thing. Like, that's not real to real life. Now, fast forward 16 to 18 months, I'm like, whoa, that's really cool because that deep dorsiflexion and pushing the knee forward has actually made me better at rock climbing when I go to Joshua Tree. It's made me better coming down from these 26-mile hikes when I'm up in Mammoth or if I'm at Cowles Mountain. Little did I know, it's like I was just lifting weight to lift weight, and it's biased based on the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
And so like I really wanted to share that with you today. I'm eating my words. I think a lot of your exercise selection is great. And I also want to share that with our community that like CrossFit is phenomenal and it misses a lot of things.
Right.
And it's very biased towards capacity and performance and very much minimizes specificity. And I'd also say old me would have been sitting here like, oh my gosh, my knee's freaking bothering me. Like we all know what that's like when you chase peak performance, when you're sitting for a long time, that patellofemoral pain starts to talk to you. But it's like when you actually get a well-balanced strength and conditioning program, the coach understands specificity as to foot position, knee angle, torso angle, mindset, cueing you to feel certain muscles, press through different ranges of motion, to press through different bits of your foot to understand why you're doing what you're doing. There's a specificity now that elicits results and creates education. All of those together create buy-in and helps me and everybody else understand why you've got the client base that you do, why you have the results that you do.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you sharing that, man.
Of course.
It's dope.
Of course. Yeah. It's been fun learning, you know, too, because as I learn and use it on myself, it also helps with, you know, getting my clients better results as well.
Yeah, totally, man.
Which is the goal.
This episode of ALLSMITH is brought to you by our friends over at Kalo and their new smart ring. I've been wearing the Kalo smart ring the past few months, and I love how simple it is. It seamlessly fits within my lifestyle and is not invasive into any elements of my life. It tracks my sleep, my movement, my heart rate, my HRV, my stress, my body temperature, and it gives you real awareness around your lifestyle and how it's impacting your recovery and performance. What makes it perfect for me is simply the versatility. I can wear it while coaching, while training, while working, while sleeping, or just living life, and it quietly collects the data in the background. And the best part is it's under $200 and there's zero subscription. No monthly fees, no gimmicks, just clean, affordable health tech. Head over to kalo.com/allsmith and use code ALLSMITH at checkout to get your discount. You can also find it at select Walmart stores and at walmart.com. Now let's get back to the show. Why do you think everyone's looking for a shortcut, man? I love that you're Natty Boy Lobby on Instagram. You know, right now we're just in a season of everybody and their mom wanting to do peptides. There's not a ton of research, but then there's more research coming along. We've had peptide experts on the show before. And I'm all for, you know, people using the right tools at the right time for the right reason.
Yeah.
I'm not for shortcuts.
Yeah.
Because the goals that you desire or the life that you desire is typically held back by the things that you're not doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I think about this sometimes when I'm like, dang, like, you know, I want to like build my biceps bigger. And like, I do a lot of pull-ups. I do a lot of like chest supported rows and bent over rows. I don't do a lot of curl variations. And that's just like a psychological bias of like, this isn't functional. This isn't going to and it's like, hold on. That's a story that I'm telling myself. And so as of 2026, I'm like, okay, 3 times a week, I'm going to pick some sort of 2 exercises that are going to support the growth of my biceps. And guess what? It's made my elbow feel better.
Yeah.
You can't just do a fuck ton of pull-ups all the time and think that it's going to last forever. Eventually you get tendonitis, you get golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, and then you're like, oh, I can't swing a golf club. I can't throw the ball for my dogs. My elbow hurts when I'm drinking a cup of coffee. And you're like, okay, why am I training? If I'm training and I can't do these basic activities of daily living, something needs to change.
Yeah, something's off.
And so like, I mean, that was me for a really long time. And so I very much appreciate that. Like you definitely lean into like, hey, I'm going to do the honest work. I'm not looking for the shortcut. And the life or the body or the mindset or the relationship that you desire is hidden in the work that you're probably avoiding.
Yeah.
How do you echo that in your mindset and your day-to-day ideology?
Yeah, I feel like it stems from just my my adolescence, you know, going through puberty and getting into fitness, you know, from a young age. I started working out when I was like 12 or 13 years old, primarily for football. So 13 was like really when I started getting serious about it and actually hitting the weight room with my football team. And, you know, it was apparent, everybody started to notice that, you know, once we were in the gym for a couple of months, I was getting some pretty good results that people were noticing. And from that stemmed, you know, the jokes of, oh, he's not natural, you've been taking steroids, this and that. And yeah, you know, there were jokes, people trying to roast, you know, I mean, make those comments. But I didn't really like that because I was working hard and I was one of the strongest dudes on the team. So I was working hard to be able to get there. And I wasn't flexing like, you know, again, this is before Instagram. This is before any of that stuff, right? I mean, the fitness influencing community was just kind of starting around that time.
What year was this?
This was 2010.
Okay.
2010. So the fitness influencer space wasn't really around yet. It didn't really start until 2012.
Yeah.
So all those guys, Jeff Seed and all these, all the influencers back, like the early influencers, like that didn't really start back then. So I really took pride in being natural because everybody else thought that I was taking stuff, and I didn't like it because it discredited the work that I had already put in. So since then, I've always been adamant that I was always going to be natural, because it's like, you can't replicate this, like
I'm doing stuff when you're not seeing me. That is why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the most beautiful lines within the human experience, which is when you put in the work when nobody's watching, like that's the real work. You're not getting a pat on the back. You're not getting validation. And it's lonely work, dude. It's not something that's like, I made the contract. I was going to do 6 sets and I just finished set 5. And I don't know if I have set 6 in me. Like, the doubt starts to creep in. And that's, the angel over here and the devil over here. It's like, it's this constant dancing. And I'm sure your faith started to coming into the standpoint a little bit more because you were practicing it. You weren't just thinking about it. You weren't just going to church. You weren't just praying. You were putting it into action.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, can my words and my actions fall into alignment? Am I who I say I am?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of confidence comes into play. And like, watching the way you carry yourself, you're always incredibly confident, but not in an egotistical way, in a sense of like, I'm going to give my best to become the best that I'm capable of becoming. And I'm not going to cheat. And if I were to ever take something, I'd be honest about it. And most people, when they take something, they're not honest about it.
True.
They claim that it's on, whatever their training program is, because they're trying to sell something or trying to manipulate your headspace in some capacity. Not everybody, but many people.
Happens a lot.
Sure. And then also, it's like, when you look yourself in the mirror and brush your teeth, are you who you say you are? And I would say with you, you are. I can feel it.
Yeah.
How does that psychology resonate with you, and how do you use that not just in your day-to-day actions, but in your presence and in your social media contributions to the world, to make sure that there's a congruence between the things that you say and the things that you are?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. That's a really good one. I think the way I can I can express that is every day just trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And I always pray, asking God that I continue to have the strength and the wisdom to walk in the purpose that He has set for me. And give me the strength and the wisdom to resist temptations to do anything outside of that. And so
that's hard. That second one was really hard. It
is hard. Again, it's a daily thing. That's the hard part. And so looking at myself in the mirror every single day, it's like, okay, am I going to be the person that God needs me to be today? That's it. And so, and whenever I do fall short, whenever I do mess up, whenever I do fall into temptation, right? And the reason why I bring up temptation is because that is what throws me off of the congruence of who I need to be and who I want to be, because I know it's off the path that God has set for me. I know it's not a part of it, but again, we all fall at some point, right?
Absolutely.
And
in a distracted culture, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, whether it's food, whether it's girls, whether it's adventure, whether it's wanting more rest, whether it's doom scrolling, like, there's so much distraction now that didn't exist in 2010.
Yeah.
And so taking note of that, recognizing it, and just being like, hey, I recognize your existence. I'll play when it's time to play. Right now, I'm focused on this thing over here.
Yeah.
Across 365 days in a year, that decision is not always easy.
It's not. It's not. And I have to, again, because I realize and I notice that when I do, when I'm not in alignment with myself and who I want to be and who God needs me to be, then I notice I feel off. I'm not on top of my game. I'm not as confident as I want to be. I don't show up as the best, most magnetic, most abundant version of myself, whether in person or on social media, right? And I feel that, and I don't like the way that feels. So again, like that's also what what I have to think about every single day when I do look in the mirror, is that am I who I say I am? And who I want to be? Am I living in alignment and congruence with what I preach and who I want to be and the man I want to become in the future?
This episode is supported by ALLSMITH Apparel. And honestly, this isn't just merch. It's a reminder that growth is forged, not found. That discipline is care. That consistency is freedom. That community is medicine. We created ALLSMITH for the people chasing something deeper than just aesthetics. People building businesses, healing, starting over, showing up tired, but showing up anyway. People truly seeking edges. When you wear ALLSMITH, you're not just wearing a logo. You're wearing a mindset, a conversation starter, a flag for people who believe movement, mindset, adversity, and intentional living can help shape a beautiful life. We are ALLSMITHs. Check out our latest apparel drops and our ALLSMITH apparel at allsmith.co. And thank you for helping us build this thing together. I love that.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm hearing is you've done a lot of prayer. You've done a lot of reflection.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very apparent to me because there's moments in time where you can turn it on for social media, where you can soften, where you're just kind of observing the room, or if you need to hey, I need a little bit of introverted time to plug in, get my post-workout nutrition, get my headspace right, do my thing.
Yeah.
And there's other times where Kendrick Lamar comes on, you're dancing, you're singing. I see that side of you too, which is dope. That's a super fun side. But what I love is that there's so many facets to Lobby. You're not just this one thing.
Yeah.
And you're open and honest about I was feeling that song. I just wanted to vibe to it. I wanted to sing. I wanted to show the vibrato. I wanted to show the dance moves. I just was feeling it. And there's other times you're yeah, I'm not into that. And it's your ability to understand where you're at is a very intuitive, magical art, in my opinion. Not everybody has that. And so when I say something like mind-muscle connection, feel your quads, you know what I mean, but that's a language that sounds like Spanish to somebody that doesn't speak Spanish. They're feel my quads. I'm doing the knee benders. I'm doing the thing that you told me to do, but I don't get it. And so when you think about that, you said it in such a profound way, abundance, vibrance, the energy. We believe in Wi-Fi. I have access to Wi-Fi on my phone right now. We have access to Wi-Fi right now in the studio. But there's human Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
When you show up for a session, if you had a shitty workout, a bad night's sleep, a fight with a partner, a fight with a parent, you're injured, you didn't pray that day, you made poor choices the night before, they're going to know.
They're going to know.
Humans have a sixth sense, and it's just the fact that you have awareness around that means that you're uncommon amongst the uncommon.
Yeah.
How do you create an intuitive reflection and personal mirror to self to realize when you're out of alignment, when you're oh, I missed X, Y, and Z things. Those need to be fixed. And when I fix them, I'm awesome for that client. But today, I'm not proud of the man that I am.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, I love that. So for me, one thing about me, and one thing I love about me, okay, because again, to get to where I am right now, it's a lot of self-growth, and I love, some people might not like it, and I never understood why, but I love focusing on me and self-growth. And I love going to therapy. I like talking about my emotions, and I like talking about what I'm feeling, and I like asking myself questions, and being introspective, because I think it's very, very important. That's how you build emotional intelligence. That's how you get to know yourself better. It's so important. And I'm a huge proponent, and I tell people all the time, it's important to get to know yourself, no matter how ugly it might be. You know, all parts of you, from the good and the bad, you need to get to know yourself. And so I'm very much so an extroverted introvert. I love spending time by myself. I love being by myself. I love the peace that comes with that. I love that I'm very routine oriented, and I can kind of move in the way that I need to in order to get things done, because I know there are also times that I can procrastinate and I can also just be off my game. But being by myself and being able to have conversations with myself, figure out what makes me tick. Why does that, why does seeing that or why does hearing that bother me? Right? It's something from my childhood, something that I've maybe put, kind of shoved in the background, of my brain, that needs to be brought back to light, to the forefront, so I can deal with it for once. Why does this make me happy? Why does that give me joy? Okay. And again, like it's just important for me to know that, so that I know also just how to be the best version of myself. And I've been that way for as long as I can remember. And it's important for me to understand myself so I can be better for the people around me. So
that's dope, man. It sounds to me that you're in pursuit of the why so you can understand the how.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a statement that's going to bother you. It bothers me too. Labby, that's just the way I am. And that's a fixed mindset, right? In my opinion, I would reframe that into, that's the way that's either worked up until now.
Yeah.
Or that's the way you choose to be. You're a human, which means you're malleable.
Yeah.
And if you're triggered by whatever thing, rather than just being like, hey, that's just something that bothers me, I think the better curiosity standpoint is, why does that bother me?
Exactly.
Why am I granting that thing a permission slip to live rent-free in my brain, which then impacts my energy, impacts my heart and my soul, puts me out of vibration, and now, if I'm a 10, brings me down to a 6, and that's 100% giving external control over me. They're playing me like a joystick now.
Yeah.
That's a gift when you're an offensive player as a basketball guy, that you're just like, hey, I'm trying to control you. Like, I'm going to play you like a video game. I'm going to get a bucket and I'm going to let you know about it.
Yeah.
Just like fun. But it's like, when you think about that from a life standpoint, it's like your approach of like, okay, that bothers me because of something from my inner child, something from my development.
Yeah. Maybe
I'm not hydrated today. Maybe I have lack of sleep. Maybe I had whatever thing that like shifted my physiology. And rather than being reactive, I'm going to take note of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on a park bench, and all of these emotions and reactions and things that are kind of traveling rent-free in my headspace, I'm just going to notice them, and I'm going to let them pass. And the ones that are valuable, maybe I'll grab them, I'll put them on my corkboard, and I'll visit them when I'm in the right state to visit them.
Right.
There's a patience that comes with that.
Yeah.
That patience comes from prayer, because most people are like, I want the answer now. How have you developed the awareness to be more curious than judgmental? Because right away, it's like, if somebody cuts you off in traffic.
Yeah.
You're trying to do something with a client. Somebody takes your machine. Somebody doesn't wipe down the machine at the gym. Like, you could very easily just be reactive and pissed off. Like, oh, it's on them. You could point at them, not realizing that there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. How have you created that level of awareness? Because that's unique. And you mentioned the word emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
The fact that you even think about that makes you rare. Where does that come from? Is that mom and dad? Is that curiosity over time? Is that sport? How do you have that level of awareness? Because I've had 300 people sit in that chair, and very few people mention those terms.
Yeah. I think it comes down to one simple term: empathy. And from a very, very young age, from I think as young as 6 years old, I've felt empathy, from being able to watch a movie and to see somebody get hurt and to physically feel that same hurt. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to feel that, because I can imagine what that feels like. To emotional trauma as well, of like heartbreak, or seeing somebody getting cheated on or something of that nature, and being able to immediately immediately without, so it's almost without, even thinking about it, putting myself in that person's shoes of like, I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, I felt that. I don't want to feel that, or I don't, I can imagine how that could feel. So it's really about, putting myself in other people's shoes, and it's very easy for me to do that. And so I think that, is the biggest thing for me.
What a gift.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you have siblings?
Feel that. Yeah. I'm the oldest of 4.
Nice. Brothers or sisters, or what you got?
2 brothers and a sister.
Nice. Is she the youngest?
She's the youngest.
Oh, your protective instinct is high then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to keep the boys away from her. I get it, man.
No.
It's hard, right?
It is. Especially when she's not, in my vicinity. She's in the Bay Area. So
Yeah. Did you get hyphy as a kid?
Oh, of course. Oh, come on, man.
Did you always have short hair? Or did you have dreads at some point?
No, I've always had short hair. In fact, in high school, I had shorter hair than what I have right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the bald cut.
Really?
Yeah. Literally.
So that's how you hit the 525 squat. You're just aerodynamic.
I've always loved my hair super, super short. And, I couldn't, there was no real good barbers in, the suburb that I was living in, middle school to high school. So my mom would just cut my hair super short all the way down. And I just
dude, it saves you a lot of money.
I just liked it like that. It wasn't until I got to college when I started actually getting lineups and.
Sure. Did they have that in like, did you spend time in the locker room, or like, did they have like a barber in there ever?
Mm-mm.
No. Did they have that in like college locker rooms now? I'm like, man, you guys have like a smoothie machine. You guys have all these freaking things. I never had any of that.
Yeah. Are you talking about in college? Or
yeah, in college.
In college, well, yeah. I had some homies that I met who were barbers, and they would just cut hair at their house. So, so I would go to them.
That's cool. Were you a Warriors fan?
Yeah, I can't call myself a fan.
Okay.
Because I don't actively watch sports anymore.
Okay. Baron Davis at the time, though. He was Mr. Warrior back in the day. He was from SoCal. That's why I used to train with him a little bit.
Okay.
And he was rehabbing his knee, and it's actually like tattooed on my leg. We used to run the Santa Monica stairs together when he was rehabbing his knee. Mm-hmm. And me at like full capacity, giving everything I got in like 11th grade. I was like his dummy training partner. And it's like I was obviously trying to get Division I scholarship, be a better high school basketball player.
Yeah.
He was trying to get another contract with the Warriors, and that dude just was dogging me all summer, dude. Golly, he was so good. For people that haven't checked it out, look up on YouTube highlights of Baron Davis with the Warriors. Homeboy was on another level, just like cocking it. But him and Monte Ellis, just like insane, dude.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Long time, right?
Yeah.
The Warriors, man, that's so cool that you grew up in that time.
Yeah.
Labby, do you think that we're in the fitness space, do you think that we're chasing health, or are we chasing validation? Because I come from a performative space where it's like, I've said this a lot on many podcasts. When I was CrossFitting and I was playing high level basketball, it was like, I wasn't really in pursuit of my health. I was in pursuit of peak performance. I was trying to score the most points, be the best defender, and like get the next contract and like do well and have our team win.
Yeah.
And then as a CrossFitter, it was like, hey, I'm trying to maximize my performance to contribute to the team. It wasn't really until later in life where I was like, hey, I'm going to do a blood panel. What are my hormones actually at? What's my cortisol? Like, do I actually sleep? Like, where are my deficiencies? And fortunately, we work with Thorne now, but at that time, I had no idea. Mm-hmm. And, I thought I was like eating healthy. And then I realized like I was abusing processed carbohydrates for 3-hour sessions a day. And I just needed the glycogen, the glucose. But then it's like, I'm getting a ramp up in blood sugar, and then I'm getting a crash. And then and so when you look at that consistently over the course of time, it's a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. You can imagine what's going on intrinsically when you get a peek under the hood. And then you look at bodybuilding, it's like, it's seemingly health oriented. But then it's like, fuck, man, like you have to psychologically obsess about it. Like you're probably bringing Tupperware to dinner sometimes because you don't want to eat out, or you don't want the additive ingredients of the oils or the sodium or the different additives that come with making food taste really sexy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you have to lose a lot of weight right before a show. Mm-hmm. Some people are using tanning salons, which some people argue are good. Some people aren't. Some people are getting a spray tan.
Yeah.
But you also, like you get irritable when you're going through those cuts. You're having to do a lot of cardio. It teaches you a lot about sacrifice. It teaches you a lot about like who you can become in the midst of adversity. So there's a lot of good too. I don't want to label it as bad.
Yeah.
But I want to pick your brain a little bit. Like, are we chasing health or are we chasing validation? Are we chasing the hard thing?
I mean, I think simply when you're in competitive sports, you're not chasing health.
Yeah.
It's not about health, right? It's, it's health. There's health benefits that come with that, with, just better cardiovascular, and cardiorespiratory benefits and, increased muscle mass. And again, you're just in good shape. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, we're chasing the accolades, we're chasing the titles, we're chasing all these different things, right? We're not just doing it just to feel good. If we want to do that, then just work out, as a lifestyle thing. When we're in sports, the goal is to win. The goal is the titles. The goal is the belts, the medals. That's all that matters. So, and you do whatever is necessary to do that as an athlete. So, and yeah, it can be a beautiful thing, but there's also, some parts that, that you do have to sacrifice, can turn toxic, especially in the bodybuilding space, since we're talking about physique and aesthetics. We get into things like body dysmorphia, and, needing to be the most shredded and the most striated, but also the biggest as well. You want to hold on to as much muscle mass as possible, but you need to get lean, and you have to, again, get the sleep, and you have to make sure your food is on point. You can't really enjoy yourself as you want to, going out to eat and enjoying life with friends and whatnot, because that's the main thing. That's the focus. You're putting all this time, energy, money, because it's very expensive, bodybuilding specifically, to do all these things, just to go up on stage and just to win a belt or just to win a medal or a trophy, right? Unless you're at the very, very top, you're not really winning money. It's literally just for the title of IFBB Pro or first overall in my show, or, of course, when you get to the top, Mr. Olympia, right?
Sure.
And that's it.
This episode is brought to you by our friends over at Bubs Naturals. Look, wellness can get noisy. There's tons of conflicting information out there. A million supplements, a million opinions. But what I truly appreciate about Bubs is that they keep things simple. Hydration, collagen, and creatine. Real tools that support real people trying to perform better, recover better, and simply show up better for their life. I use their products consistently, whether it's hydration after training, collagen to support recovery, or creatine for performance, strength, brain health, and longevity. These are staples in my routine. But what I really respect is the mission behind the brand. Bubs truly honors legacy, adventure, service, and living life fully. If you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, a parent, a weekend warrior, or somebody truly trying to feel a little bit more human in your body, give them a look. Use code ALLSMITH to support your wellness, your journey, and support what we're building here with the ALLSMITH podcast. Because feeling better isn't just about vanity, it's about capacity. And capacity changes lives. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. What I'm hearing too, Lobby, is that it's not always about the money. It's about who you become. I mean, look at your conviction in your voice and the passion that you experience. You wake up excited to do the thing.
Of course.
You might not be, hitting the home run monetarily yet. That's soon to come based on your discipline, your diligence, and everything in between. However, your day-to-day is like a vacation. You love what you do.
Yeah.
And most people, when they're going out to dinner and they're having, 2 or 3 drinks on a Friday night, and they're trying to have the sexy food, they don't like Monday through Thursday.
Very true.
So they're seeking escapism in that moment versus, I would argue the life that we both live is like, I like my Monday.
Yeah.
I like my regular Tuesday, which is coaching clients and getting to the gym and hosting podcasts and doing the day. So it's like, When I go on vacation or if I take a different scenery, it's not to get away.
Yeah.
It's, hey, I'm going to go visit family, or I'm going to go do this thing to create some space so my operating system gets better when I come back.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate about what you just described is that when you're trying to do things at the top, it costs something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost just money. It costs your time, your energy, your attention, your choices, boundaries. Boundaries are really difficult because I'm still learning boundaries, dude. Like I wish, like I chuckle because it's like, I'd love to say that I'm a boundary expert, but I'm like, some days I'm like, dang, I did that really well. And then other days I'm like, I didn't know how to draw the boundaries. So I was actually just mean. I sucked that day. And then other times it's like you draw the boundary and you did it in a nice way, but it wasn't received well. Like what I say and what you hear might not be the same. And so this person that, you know, carved out all this space on their calendar, you're loving and you're respectful, but you're also like, hey, I had to work longer. Unfortunately, I'm not available at that time anymore. I'm so sorry I have to push this thing. And then they're mad at you and you're like, dang, I'm not like trying to be a bodybuilder to be liked. I'm trying to be a bodybuilder because I think it's what's right.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between being like a good guy, that you're trying to do the next right thing consistently in alignment with God, with your goals and with your life's purpose, versus trying to be a nice guy, which is, hey, I'm going to like kind of soften all these things because I don't want, you know, Joe Schmo to be mad at me for the next few weeks, but he doesn't really see what I see.
Yeah.
And it's like the right people get it.
Yeah.
The wrong people have judgment in there. How have you navigated that relationship with boundaries for yourself? Because I think there's a lot of people that struggle with those, myself included. So like I'm asking and over here taking notes because I'm like, please teach me your ways.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as boundaries go, because, you know, again, I've been the nice guy before, you know, and it's not a good place to be.
No.
You know, it might seem like it is in the moment because, you know, but you just end up people pleasing and you end up, you know, not prioritizing, you know, what you actually need. You know, you end up prioritizing other people's wants and kind of putting yours on the back burner, you know, and that's not, again, it's not a good place to be. So for me, boundaries also came with understanding more about myself and just being more introspective of like, okay, if I feel uncomfortable in a situation or, you know, it's, you know, part of it was just like trying things and being like, okay, actually this is, you know, I'll try it. But if it's not for me, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna let you know it's not for me, or I don't feel comfortable here, or I don't go to places like that, or I don't, you know, because I've been there, I've tried it and I'm like, yeah, not really my thing, not really my vibe, you know, and now I'm okay with saying that now. Like I'll tell you, you know, people invite me somewhere, you want to come to this, or you know, can you do this for me? I'm like, yeah, you know, I would, but I
think you'll like this one.
Yeah.
The no's make the yeses more valuable.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's a big one. For
sure. And yeah, just again understanding who I am, and again knowing my boundaries of like, yeah, no, like that just doesn't align with what I you know, who I am or what I want to do. And, you know, being able to also be like, yeah, that's perfectly okay, that, you know, I can share that. And again, the people that get that and understand that and actually care about me and you know, love me are going to get that. They're going to understand that.
Sure.
So
I think you're spot on there, man, because oftentimes my mom used to say this all the time. She's like, Bryce, nothing good happens after midnight. And then I ended up meeting this Navy SEAL like 5 or 6 years later. And he was like, yeah, nothing good happens after midnight, except for the best shit ever. And I'm like, dang, dude, like now you're making me feel like I got FOMO when I say no to things. But that's where I think your relationship with intuition comes in, with the people that are associated with what you've got going on the next day. Where the answer to that question is not like a one-size-fits-all blanket statement. It's case dependent.
Yeah.
What season am I in? What is, you know, my season in my bodybuilding? What does my body composition need to look like? What do I need to feel like? What are my responsibilities the next day? Have I been training really hard? Who is this person? Do I trust them?
Yeah.
Am I looking to build a relationship with them where it's like, man, I get to see them once out of this many years. Like, you know what? I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to go after that experience.
Definitely.
Maybe I'll have a couple drinks, but I know the consequences that I'm signing up for. Proactively when I get home, which I want to make sure I'm not driving. I want to make sure the systems are in place where I'm going to get electrolytes when I get home. My day tomorrow might be some zone 2 cardio to sweat out, get some movement, make sure I'm not getting joint fatigue and things that are going to negatively impact my next week. That's responsibly making a choice.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. And it's like that allows for you to consider the variables rather than every time somebody offers for me to go out, I just say, no, I don't do that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you could be missing out. And if I'm going to make that choice, I'm going to make that a calculated choice based on responsibility for the man that I want to be, for the purpose that I desire, and for the plan that I believe God has for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a different answer than just yes or no.
Of course.
And so I'm curious your thoughts on that because, I mean, you're a young dude. You're good looking. You're putting yourself out there. You want to meet great people. You want to foster meaningful relationships. The no's yes make the yeses more valuable. And the yeses sometimes are necessary to enroll yourself in the human experience.
Yes. I completely agree. And, you know, if it's something that I do want to do, then I'm going to do it. And again, I think, you know, what you just said makes all the difference is assessing the situation because that's one thing I noticed. Again, that's, you know, just like you said, it's part of being introspective. It's like, okay, you kind of think about, okay, is it worth doing? Okay, how can I do this? Okay, am I going to be set up for tomorrow? What time am I going to go to bed? What time do I have to be up the next morning? Do I have food prepped already? Okay, you know, if I go out to this, I can come back. I'll have my, you know, catch up on my water, my supplements, my meals, make sure I get all my protein. Okay, you know, again, it's like making calculated decisions of like, okay, being proactive. Okay, when I get back, you know, what am I going to do? Make sure I'm back on track. And again, I do that at every single time that I have something to do or I get invited somewhere. And again, that's just part of that boundary. But if for some reason it doesn't align with my schedule for that day or for the next day, it just doesn't make sense, then of course that's when I don't have any problem saying no. But again, if it's something that I am interested in doing, then again, I make that calculated decision. Okay, cool. Like maybe because I'm on prep, I can't eat out, but I want to hang out with you. I want to spend time together. I want to celebrate whatever you're celebrating. So I'm going to go. And I've done that multiple times when I'm on prep, right? I didn't miss weddings. I didn't miss social gatherings that I was invited to. I went to everything that I could because I wanted to, and I didn't want to miss out on these things that were important to my friends or my family and whoever. But at the same time, I'm disciplined enough in myself because I know what the goal is, right? We're still 10 weeks out from, you know, the next show. So I know I can't drink. So I'm not going to drink alcohol while I'm there. And people have such a, they you know, sometimes it's clients too, they throw such a fit like, oh, I can't drink alcohol. Like, you know, but we're going out. I'm like, bro, like, I promise you're going to be okay. Like you can go out with your friends and not drink for this one occasion. Like I promise you're going to be okay. And I did that multiple times for weddings, for birthday dinners. Like I went to birthday dinners and I either didn't eat at all and I just waited till I got back, or I ate beforehand, or I would pretty much just talk to my coach and be like, hey, we're going out to dinner. What can I have? You know, if I'm able to have something.
You're asking for help. You're leaning on your network. You're leaning on your tribe for support.
Exactly.
I also think one of the greatest hacks to going out is having a quality meal beforehand.
Yeah.
Right? Like going to the grocery store hungry is terrible. You're going to buy all the bad stuff. If you go out and you're starving and it's like post-workout especially, or you've like been really stressed that day, you're going to reach for all the different snacks because you're bored. You're just kind of like stress eating. It's probably a little bit socially awkward at first, especially if you're not drinking. Yeah. So you're just like, I'm just going to reach for all these things. But it's like, if you're getting some quality grass-fed beef, getting some vegetables, some post-workout carbohydrates in an appropriate fashion that are in alignment with your goals, you're creating a semblance of safety because you're satiating yourself. You're satisfying the nutrient density for the tasks that are associated with that day.
Yeah.
And then you minimize your temptation.
Yeah, exactly.
In doing so, now you can be more disciplined. And like one of my favorite thoughts is like, hey, don't miss 2 days in a row. And when I say that, like, I don't mean like you can't rest 2 days in a row. It's just like, don't be off your game 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great reminder for most people. It's a pretty simple one. But I wanted to ask you, what are so many people getting wrong right now about building muscle? Because I'm witnessing a lot of people mistaking activity for production.
Yeah.
And like, especially now, like running a business, being married, having the podcast, doing apparel, hosting events, hosting social club, like my plate is overflowing with things that I love to do. But that might mean I only get 30 to 75 minutes at the gym, and some days maybe 90. But it goes back to what you talked about, like exercise selection. I'm not just going in like, you know, hitting junk miles on a runner or a rower or a salt bike. It's like I'm trying to pick quality things that are in alignment with my goals and the life that I want to live and the body composition that I desire.
Yeah.
And the functionality that I want for surfing, for bodyboarding, for hiking mountains, for doing all these things that align with my business and my life. What are most people getting wrong about building muscle today? And why is there this psychological need to feel the all the time when it's not always in alignment with people's goals?
Yeah. With building muscle, I think there's a couple things. One, don't treat your sessions like you're doing like a HIIT style class, like a HIIT style F45, high rocks, you know, doing like super short rest times, 30 seconds or less. You know, you got, like take your time. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, I'm like, okay, your rest time usually be between like 90 seconds, at least 90 seconds to 2 minutes. If we're actually focused on.
If you're getting good muscle contractions, if the weight is set appropriately.
Exactly.
You're not just chasing reps and checking the box. You're actually doing a full range of motion and creating a mind-muscle connection.
Yeah, that's number one. Two, sleep is probably the most underrated anabolic tool that you could use is sleep. And it's something I need to get better at, me being a night owl. Sleep is super important for recovery to be able to build that muscle. Three, a lot of people are undereating, severely undereating, and are going through malnutrition. They're just not eating enough carbs, enough protein to be able to build the muscle that they need to. And so people think they need to be in a calorie deficit all the time so that they can just keep losing the fat and the muscle will just show up at the same time. It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. So a lot of people are just very just under eating. And I think the last one is making sure that the loads that you're using and the intention are up to par to be able to build muscle mass. If you're not lifting heavy enough with the right intention on that muscle, then that also is going to it's going to blunt your ability to build muscle as well.
Yeah.
So if the weight is too light and if you're just throwing up reps and you're not focused on technique on that exercise, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to grow.
Yeah, it's well said. I appreciate you sharing those things. What are your thoughts to create physiological understanding where people are doing a particular exercise and they're like, whoa, I'm not just checking the box. Like Bryce or Lobby said to do 8 to 10 T-bar rows. Some people get up there and like their nervous system feels the heavy load. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so heavy today. So there's neural adaptation that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
You have to pause for a second and think, what was their warm up until that point to kind of like ramp them up a little bit.
Yeah.
What did their day look like? How much were they sitting? How much were they in a car? What's nutrition looking like? What do their supplements look like? But how do you create that ideology? Because a lot of people are coming in to see a traditional personal trainer. They're thinking, oh, I did the T-bar row. I did the 4 sets of 12. But there's a difference between, hey, I checked the box and like I did 4 sets of 12.
Yeah.
Like you and I both know, like I'll hit a set of T-bar rows. Like I'm a little lightheaded. It's compressing my diaphragm a little bit. Like I'm trying to get a nice little pause at the top. If I find myself getting a little bit trap dominant, I'm like, no, break the bar. Like try to really retract and depress the shoulder blades, squeeze the scapula, get into the rhomboids and the lats a little bit. All of that's like my internal dialogue that I'm trying to pay forward to clients. But I do have to be honest, there's people out there, and there are people that like you say those terms and they're like, I don't really care. I'm doing the T-bar row. I should get the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. I love that question. You know, it's much easier to catch those kind of things when you're in person.
Yes.
Which is why I love in-person coaching still. That's why I still do it. In a world right now where, you know, all these business coaches are trying to get everybody on online and, you know, again, to be able to work remote, which is great. I love it. You know, I know it's
scalability and there's a time and a place for it.
Yeah. It's scalable. Again, I do online coaching myself. It makes sense. It's great. And you know, when you have the right clients, you get really, really good results with you being a good coach and coaching that client online. But it's hard with clients online that might be more on the beginner side or even intermediate side who don't really know what things should feel like, right? You could have a client who's been in the gym for years, but has never gotten any proper real training to be able to know what they're doing. Like, you know, I've learned a lot about training from my coach and from other coaches, because, you know, even though I've been training for, you know, 15 years, I've learned so much in the last 5 about how to actually hit certain parts of my back. You know, I thought I was just, you know, I did the row, so my back should be big. Well, no, your lats, your lower lats are super small because you do lat pull down super, super wide, thinking you're getting a wider back when you're not hitting your lat fully. You're only hitting the top of your lat in your teres major, right? So like little things like that. You know, and so that's why, you know, when you actually have a client online who's dedicated and, you know, when you have a coach who knows what they should, you know, what they should be looking for, that's why form videos are so important. So like for me, like I really, really encourage form videos, like having my clients record their top set to see if what exercise they're supposed to be doing, if they're doing it correctly, how I need them to be doing it, if they're going hard enough, heavy enough, if they're retracting and what's what I'm looking for, if they are
kind of retracting and depressing, like pushing down that shoulder and not getting into shrug city. Exactly.
If they're doing all the little cues to be able to hit that part of the back or that part of the muscle that we're trying to hit, right? Because again, that's the difference between if that client gets results or not, because they can say they did the workout, but did you really do the workout like how you're supposed to, just like you said? So again, it's easier to really figure that out when you're in person with somebody and to be able to fix that in real time. And then if not, if you're online, then you just, all you have is to rely on form videos. And if that client gets that form video into you, which, you know, sometimes it can be.
I think the biggest thing with online coaching is accountability.
Yeah.
And I find that like some people sign up for online coaching mostly because like they kind of know what to do.
Yeah.
But they need somebody to create a little bit more structure, to create a time frame, to create accountability. And that's what I love about the form videos, because it's really easy to hide. And I think when you hide, it's like, that's fine if that's the life that you want to live. If you really want to squeeze the maximal juice out of the orange, you're going to do the form video.
Yeah.
Because you're going to allow me to help you, right? Like the famous line from Jerry Maguire, help me, help you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think as coaches, a lot of us want to help, but then we're like guessing. We're like, hey, what's your facility this day? What's gone into your system? You didn't update your sheet. I don't really know what's going on. I'm trying to meet you where you're at. And like, you feel like you're not getting the best service, but it's also because you're not being the best and most compliant participant.
That part.
And so like, yeah, it's a call out, but it's an honest call out, because it's like, you're trying to give away your expertise and like build a business and get them results, which is very difficult when the input's not leading the output. If I just go to AI and ChatGPT and I'm like, make me a podcaster, they're like, what? Huh? You have to know how to put the inputs in to get the outputs. And then from there, it's like you're developing taste. Everybody on the planet now has access to Perplexity, AI, Claude, ChatGPT, but not everybody uses it the same.
Yeah.
It comes down to taste. It comes down to specificity. It comes down to, if I'm going to make my bed in the morning, I don't just grab everything and throw it up there and I'm like, cool, made my bed. It's like, I want to pay attention to the detail. I want to make sure the pillows are oriented appropriately. So that way, when my wife gets in there, when I get in there, it's like, oh, there was some attention and care put into this. Mm-hmm. That's what I want people to think about with their bodies.
Yeah.
But modern day, dude, we're in the land of GLP-1s. Why should I work harder, Lobby, when I can just shoot up Ozempic or semaglutide and it's FDA approved, it's safe.
Of course.
So there's this flex of credentialism. There's this flex of research. There's this flex of safety. Very few people know about the $4 trillion lawsuit that's for blindedness associated with Ozempic. Amongst the, hey, this is really good to help lose weight, of all the side effects.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm genuinely curious. I'm not saying that they're wrong for everybody. They could be a tool to help, manage cravings, to help suppress appetite, to help, morbidly obese or potentially diabetic people start.
Yeah.
And I think they could be a tool when combined with lifestyle, education, consistency, and getting after it in the gym, getting your steps in, eating well, sleeping. But where I struggle, man, is the world just wants this quick fix.
Yeah.
And you being somebody that's a big proponent of the hard work and the mindset and everything, I'm curious your thoughts on GLP-1s and how we can navigate that conversation as health professionals.
Yeah. From what I know about GLP-1s, the initial reason for it was for diabetics.
Yes.
So people with diabetes to be able to use it, especially type 2. And so with that frame of mind, I can understand the use of it for diabetics only. And then over time, a short period of time, they were like, actually, we could use this for fat loss for everybody, or weight loss, really just weight loss for everybody.
I think the weight loss is a big component because you lose muscle mass, you lose bone density.
Exactly.
Those things are important factors.
It's not just about fat loss. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to make that correction, because it's not just about fat loss. It's just about losing the weight, and people are obsessed with the scale. So I think that it bypasses our ability to be able to work on ourselves and our own thinking and our own triggers to food. Like, when people are, just like you said, it lowers appetites and cravings and whatnot. And it's like, there are other ways that you could do that without having to take a GLP-1, and so it's
with significantly less risk.
Yeah.
And then you're developing the confidence, because like you're developing the wherewithal to be like, you know what, that donut's not for me.
Yeah.
Maybe a time in the future, but right now it's not the best choice.
Right.
Now I have confidence that I can make the right choices in the midst of extreme temptation.
Exactly.
Now, if you make that choice, it's like you're going to do the right thing when nobody's watching. You're not going to lie. You're not going to cheat. You're not going to steal. You're not going to do bad things because you have strengthened, flexed that muscle so many times where you've created psychological hypertrophy within your discipline.
Of course.
And that's what I love about your mindset and philosophy around a lot of this stuff, because it's like, does this shit work? Case dependent on your use. But long term, right? Everybody's obsessed with short-term gratification now. Like, how many views? How many likes? It's like, well, maybe in the beginning, like, you went viral, but it's like long term. Are you impacting people? Are you consistently doing the next right thing? Or are you getting married to attention over doing the next right thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's like, I can empathize around temptation. I get it. It's psychological. But again, all the GLP-1 is doing is masking that, masking that by curbing your cravings and your appetite, which in turn, if we're talking about overall health and getting you back to a healthy place to also lose body fat as well, in the long term, it's not going to be good for you, because again, at the end of the day, we still need food. We need nourishment in our bodies. So now it's like, okay, yeah, your appetite, your your cravings have been curbed, but now you're malnourished.
Yeah.
You're not getting enough protein.
It's interesting too, because the validation comes from like, you've not seen somebody for a while and then they show up at the Christmas party and they like get dabbed up. It's like, hey, you've lost a lot of weight. Congratulations, man. It's like, oh yeah, I've been working hard. Da, da, da. And it's like, that might be the short-term win. Like maybe, you went through a tough season of life. You're eating poorly, drinking, not sleeping a lot, trying to chase the rat race and making money, which is what a lot of people do modern day. Mm-hmm. They trade their health in pursuit of wealth. Mm-hmm. Thinking that later on their wealth is going to help them regain their health, which the GLP-1 allows for that. You can pay money, get this thing, and it can give you short-term results, potentially long-term case, depending on the person. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm going to say it's risky.
It is risky, yeah.
And that's where I think it's important to have these conversations. Where I want to pivot the conversation with you, Lobby, is when I think of the business of fitness, you go to school for kinesiology, you learn biomechanics, you learn energy systems, you learn optimal program design, you understand anatomy and physiology. Maybe you do a little bit of nutrition, but it's kind of based on the food pyramid, so it's mostly bullshit. And then it's like, they don't really teach you that much around psychology. And when you're like thinking about like, hey, I'm really good at the X's and O's of fitness, the program that works is the one that people do. Yeah. If you don't have anybody to coach, how smart you are really doesn't matter. Yeah. So you have to have the understanding of human psychology to create lead generation, to go out and prospect, to have a level of attention gathering, whether that's social media, whether it's going to events, whether that's having a bring a friend day, having some sort of strategy where, hey, if you bring your significant other, they can try it for free for a week and then we can see if it's the right fit. There's so many different variations that we see within the fitness space, but what was it like for you starting your own business? And, getting in the door, it's like, did you already have access to a client base? Were you advertising all the time? Like, what did it look like for you? Because there's a lot of coaches out there that are great coaches, but they're not good marketers. Yeah. And so then as a byproduct, like nobody really knows about them and they're just flying under the radar. Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I came to San Diego 12 years ago now, 2014. So I came down here for school, went to SDSU, shout out to Aztecs.
2014, baby, let's go.
Yes, sir. Graduated 2019. And from there, I was planning on going to PA school. So become a physician assistant in orthopedic surgery. That was what I wanted to do. So I applied to like 10 schools here in California, got rejected from all of them. And during that time while I was applying and waiting to hear back, I was like, okay, I quit my job at the PT clinic that I was working at, physical therapy clinic. I was a PT aide. And so I was like, okay, I want to make a little bit more money while I wait for my PA school decisions. So I quit that. And one of my friend's dads, he was like, he was a executive at Lifetime Fitness. And he was like, yeah, you should become a personal trainer. Like our trainers here, they make really good money. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll try it. So I got certified through NASM, and I applied to Lifetime, got rejected because they needed somebody with more experience. So I was like, okay, apply.
Isn't that funny how that works, man? Yeah. Like you're the young whippersnapper that just like is so eager to like learn and serve, and it's like you get rejected, go get experience. Like, how do I get experience? You have to let me get experience.
Exactly. So went to 24-Hour Fitness, got hired. That's where I actually met Jorge.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he was the fitness manager there, and he hired me. He gave me my first job as a personal trainer.
Two of the guys with the biggest biceps I've ever seen.
Got hired there. I was there for like a week and a day, and then COVID happened, shut down all the gyms.
Oh,
I was
man.
the last one hired, so I was the first one laid off.
That's a kick in the nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Then the gyms opened up again. Went to LA Fitness. They hired me on the spot. I was there for like 2 weeks. Then COVID shut down everything again. Then I was like, okay, well, I have my certification. I spent all this money. Now what am I going to do? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just try to see if I can do this on my own. So picked up my phone, went on Instagram, had no idea of like how to market or whatever. I was just like, okay, if anybody wants, a training program, hit me up. I got you. $100 a pop. 1 turned to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. And then I had like 8 to 10 clients. I just got to make programs for them.
You're like, thank God I can make rent.
Yeah.
And sort of have some groceries outside of Top Ramen right now.
Exactly. Plus unemployment was coming at the time. So I was like, I was able to keep myself afloat.
Sure.
Which was nice. And then after a while, and then after that, I was like, okay, I'll offer in-person training sessions. I'll train any people wherever they were at. So I would train people in PB on Law Street, that little park right there.
I love it.
I'll train people at their houses, in their garages. We would go to parking structures. We would go to SCSU, to the field over there, go work out there. I would just come with my little bag of bands and a couple weights in here and there, and I would just put them through a workout. And that's kind of how I started. And a lot of my client base came from SDSU. So my connections from San Diego State, I was out and about a lot, so I knew a lot of people. So that was my base for clients, and people would just hit me up because everybody knew me as the gym guy. Mm-hmm. So they would hit me up for training, and I was like, after a while, I did that for maybe 5 months from August to December. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. Like, I can't keep driving from one part of San Diego to another part of San Diego to go train people. Like, I just got burnt out. I'm like, if I can't find a gym that I can train people in the way I want to train them, like hypertrophy, strength focus with machines and whatnot, then I don't want to do this anymore. And I did one more search for gyms in the area. I found Self-Made.
Wow.
Yeah, I found Self-Made.
Man upstairs working for you, man.
Yeah, I found Self-Made, and I put an application. Matt, the owner, the previous owner before Scott, he texted me back immediately, like a couple minutes later. He's like, oh, you want to come in for a tour? It's like, cool. Went in the next day for a tour. He told me, how much it was a month. And I was like, man, I ain't got that. Let me think on it. Wait a minute. Same
reaction I had, man.
Yeah.
It's scary at first.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have it. But then I was like, okay, I did the mathematics. I'm like, what else am I going to do? And if I can make X amount of money without a gym, without doing anything, imagine, I think I can double it if I actually had a gym.
Yes.
If I just put it out there, market.
Not to mention, dude, modern day, especially post-COVID.
Yeah.
Like, there's functional fitness, there's physical therapy type stuff, there's cardiovascular stuff, there's all kinds of like high rocks type things. Mm-hmm. Plus the parking, dude.
Yeah.
Let alone people are spending a fortune to go to PB North Park and downtown to go to their fitness facility, but they're paying $15 to $20 every time they go to park.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, our spot's pretty dope.
Yeah, for real. So, yeah, I was like, you know what? All right, let's do it. Put it on the credit card. And let's do it. And then from there, I just started marketing on my story. I'm like, hey, this is where we're at. If you need training, come hit me up. And from there, Body by Lobby was born.
That's so cool, man. What a blessing.
Yeah.
And I'm so stoked to see you just like thriving, doing the things that light your heart on fire. But also, you've not been stagnant. You've evolved over the course of time. And what's interesting to make this answer kind of come full circle is so many people are like chasing. Mm-hmm. It's like chasing a bunny or a hummingbird. Like, if you chase those two things, they just fly away or they run away.
Yeah.
You have to become the person. You have to become the person that sleeps right, that thinks right, that has the courage to go to therapy, that has the courage to take the blanket off of all of your inadequacies.
Yeah.
Look yourself in the mirror, see the habits that are working, see the habits that aren't. Mm-hmm. Notice the people in your tribe that are like serving you or hurting you. Yeah. You have to let go of a lot of relationships.
That part.
Entrepreneurship is lonely, man.
It is. And
it can be the most freeing thing in the world where, in my opinion, I felt like I was a caterpillar in a cocoon for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then upon finding Self-Made, I'm like, whoa, I can actually like spread my wings a little bit. Like, this is really fun. Like, I don't really know how to fly, but I think I'm going to try to figure it out.
That's how I felt.
And it's like you fly and you fall down and you hurt your wing for a little bit. You're like, man, like, I don't know if my credit card has the capacity to keep paying this rent at this thing. And then eventually you're like, whoa, I got 3 new clients. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you start learning like, oh, these are the things that work on social media. These are the things that work hopping on podcasts. These are the things that work going to these events. Oh, when I meet that person's energy is really dope. I become a better version of me when I'm around that person. I want to be with that person more. Mm-hmm. And I want to help them too. And I ask this because you made a statement. You said you like you. Mm-hmm. I like me too.
Yeah.
I remember like how lonely it was first starting entrepreneurship, and I was like always wanting to try to like go do something, and I was like, whoa, I don't actually like who I am or I'm becoming at that time.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to actually build a relationship with self.
Yeah.
And then like you feel guilty at first because you're like, am I narcissistic? Am I making it all about me? Am I this? Am I that? All these words and terms that the world throws around. But like, I heard somebody say this on the Jay Shetty podcast this week. He was talking about the word selfishness. And he was like, whoa, you're calling me selfish. You want me to put all of my stuff into a box to just do everything for you, to quote unquote be selfless.
Yeah.
And it's like, it shouldn't really work that way. If I'm going to play pickleball with you, I'm going to hit the ball. Like I expect you to try to hit it back. Now we're both contributing to the relationship. It's reciprocity.
Right.
In my opinion, like there's no problem in being selfish because that allows you to give the best version of yourself to somebody else.
Exactly.
And it helps them become selfish in return.
Yeah.
So now you guys become selfish, which then leads to selfless together.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting word because the word selfish has like a negative connotation to it.
It does.
But it's also like, hey, if I want to take care of myself, it's a form of self-love. And I'm doing that because I really value our relationship and I care about you. I don't want to show up in a bad state where you don't deserve that.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that phrasing and that terminology associated with that? Because it sounds to me that you had to become the man that was capable of running Body by Lobby. And now you're off to the races, man. It seems like pretty skyrocket. The people that you're connected with, the joy that you have, your willingness to just keep showing up day after day. And it just seems like, at least as far as I've known you in 14 to 16 months, like you keep getting marginally better.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's good to hear, because, sometimes we can get caught up in just, whether it's the monotony of things and, how slow certain things tend, to take off. Right. So, and we have to go through that. But on the other side is going to be something better and more beautiful when you just keep on keeping on and continuing to pour into yourself and continue to focus on just how can I get better little by little every single day. So as far as like selfishness goes, for me, I've struggled with that a little bit because I do take time for myself all the time. And I need to make sure that I'm good to show up for other people. Otherwise, if I feel like I have to, or if I feel forced to do things for other people, it's not genuine. It's not from me. And I don't like the way that feels. Like I do have a big heart and I do like to give. I do like to serve. But I need to make sure that I'm good, because if I'm not good, then I'm not going to serve in the way that I need to. And it's going to be very lackluster. And they don't, people that I'm serving don't deserve that. So I need to make sure that I'm good first. And so I've accepted that and I'm perfectly okay with that.
The iPhone's of no use if it's not charged. The iPhone's got to get plugged in or MagSafe charged. Otherwise, it's like that sexy camera, whatever data it has, you can't text people. You can't do all the sexy functions that this thing can do if it's not charged.
Yeah.
You've got to charge a little bit. And so I think it's cool that you recognize that, which is incredibly valuable.
Yeah. I think another thing with that too is because, again, also me being an empath, is that I've seen, whether it's in real life or in media, TV shows or movies, where I've seen people give so much of themselves and not pouring back into themselves. And I can feel that they're just an empty shell trying to do everything for everybody else, but not for themselves. Now, obviously there are, there's certain situations where it's like, okay, you got to do what you got to do, whether it's for your children and, you're trying to make ends meet or whatnot, or, you have, sick family members, you're trying to do whatever, you can to be able to provide and serve them and make them feel comfortable. Right. Like I understand all of that. But, I've seen certain situations too, where it's like people are just, bending their back for other people without even pouring into themselves. And I can feel that emptiness within them, because they know it's draining them too, but they can't tell those people that they're serving that they're empty inside.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that. I've had to fight that a little bit. I've been that person. And somebody said to me, that's actually selfish. Pouring into other people nonstop without pouring into you is selfish. I was like, whoa, help me understand. And they were like, you're doing these people a disservice because they're only getting a part of you. When you have all of this big heart to give, you're giving them a small corner.
Yeah.
What if you actually slept better at nighttime? What if you actually carved out time for your training and ate quality food and did the things that you needed to do? Now these people get the full experience of your heart rather than just a small portion.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I never thought of it that way. And it just shows, man, across hard conversations, when you lean in and you just go in malleable and ready to learn and being a sponge, you're just like, whoa, like I thought I was doing good by doing that. We was building the business. We're doing the thing. Like the check marks were happening and what social conditioning said was good. And you're like, whoa, this needs to be refined. And I think, I don't want to speak for you, but for me, like entrepreneurship has been the greatest learning lesson. Like going to business school, going to all these things. I thought that I had to like sharpen the sword more, sharpen the axe before I was like even credentialed to go chop wood.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, bro, just go chop wood.
Just go chop, yeah.
And then as you chop, you realize, oh, this is the better angle. This is when you should do it. This is who you should ask for help. This is the way you should sharpen. This is the right axe.
I love that.
And it's like, I didn't know what I didn't know when I first jumped in. And I thought I had to have like all this reservoir of like titles and credentials. And it eventually got to the point, it's like, you just have to have the courage to go do the thing.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to people? Because I think the world's changing a little bit now, especially post-COVID. There's a lot of like work from home. Some people are going back to work. But like everybody's their own brand now.
Yeah.
Everybody is kind of their own entrepreneur in some capacity. And if they're working a job, usually they got some sort of side hustle, especially with how expensive it is on the West Coast and the East Coast. What advice do you give to people that are like kind of hanging on and they're like an anchor in the ocean and they don't really want their boat to move on because it's like they're close to shore, they have access to resources, and it's kind of like the land of comfortable complacency where it's like kind of in the relationship. I don't really want to get married, but it's like it's kind of comfortable right now. I don't really want to be lonely. That's how I see a lot of people in these jobs. They're like, it pays the bills. It's not really what I love to do, but I need to do it right now. What advice do you give to people? Or just be like, rip off the Band-Aid, take the leap, and you'll figure it out as you go. And it's not always going to be easy.
Yeah.
But it is something that's like, you learn so much about yourself. And as a byproduct, you look back, hopefully when we're in our 70s, we're going to dab it up and be hanging out and be like, dude, what a ride.
Yeah.
That was dope. It was so hard.
Yeah.
It was so awesome, though. And I'm so thankful that I took the leap when I did. And honestly, now I can say I probably should have done it sooner. But I didn't have the courage. What advice do you give to people that are maybe on the fence there?
Oh, man. Shoot. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm still figuring it out myself.
Yeah.
You know, so as far as
you and me both, buddy.
You know, like giving advice to that. Yeah, I still feel so young and early in the game to where I'm still learning. So, as far as advice goes, I think the only thing I can say is that, you know, within, if you have a conviction to do something that you know you're not doing, and that's going to eat you alive for the rest of your life if you don't take action on it.
Yeah, that little whisper is eventually going to become a shout.
Exactly. And you're going to sit on that. And the longer you keep sitting on it and you don't act on that conviction, and then you're going to end up resenting people around you, your situation, yourself over time, because you know there's something in you that needs to be, you know, that the world needs to see, but you just keep sitting on it.
Wow. That's the best way I've ever heard that answer. I felt that.
Yeah.
I also will say, ready is not a time, it's a decision. You're never really ready. You make the decision, I'm going to go do this thing.
To be ready, yeah.
And I think there's a different framework there because some people are like, oh, I'll be ready when, thinking that the current level of stresses will go away, but then a new set of stresses just take their place.
Yeah.
New set of financial distresses, relationship stresses, whatever the stresses are. Like you finish some, going back to ALLSMITH, you're either in adversity, you just left it, or you're approaching it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a constant if you're enrolled in the human experience of life.
Yeah.
And so I love the way you answered that, man. Last thing before we wrap things up. If you had roughly a year to help somebody change their life, what would you tell them to ignore?
Tell them to ignore everybody around them that isn't where they want to be.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's an expert, man.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a few guests on here be like, hey, if you want and desire this thing, you can't listen to all the opinions of the people in the stands.
Yeah.
You have to be the man or the woman in the arena.
Exactly.
And in doing so, you want to look to other people that are in the arena. So I love the way you said that.
Yep.
That's dope, man. What's next for Lobby? What's coming up for you? We're getting ready to enter summer here.
Yeah.
Hot season.
Yeah.
That means bathing suit season in San Diego.
Facts.
Everybody's running around flexing and jumping into the beach and looking good and got that mocha skin. What you got cooking for this summer?
Man, should we turn 30 tomorrow?
Hey, happy early birthday, buddy. Welcome to the 30s. Let's go.
Yep. So hitting Vegas tomorrow.
Nice, man.
So that should be pretty fun. Going with my dad, my uncle, brothers, cousin, and some of my fraternity brothers as well. So it's gonna be a guy's trip.
I'm pumped for you, man. I cannot wait to hear about that. That's so badass.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. We got 3 more months on this growing season bulk, and then I think we might start prep up again in October.
Okay.
To compete in February time frame.
That's tough, dude. To go into prep right around the holidays, that's a test.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before, so
okay.
It should be manageable. But yeah, hopefully to do my OCB pro debut in February time frame.
Nice, dude. You got to let us know so we can come out and support you.
Definitely, and some just going all in on my personal brand, Natty Boy.
Yeah,
and getting some merch done.
Let's go.
In the process of that, so getting some samples in. So yeah, we might be having some Natty Boy merch dropping soon.
Let's go, man. Let us know so we can purchase some and help support you for sure. That's the other thing that I've really loved about Self-Made, man. And I talked to you about this. I've talked to Tony, some of our other coaches over there, Scott, a ton.
Mm-hmm.
When you zoom out and you look at, like, let's just say the NBA, you got like LeBron, Draymond, Steph, Dwayne Wade, like they're all buddies.
Yeah.
The people at the top don't compete.
Yeah.
They collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And I've looked at that and it's like so funny to me because like in other fitness spaces they're like, oh, I'm not buying his merch. He runs this business. And I'm like, who cares? Like he's doing dope shit too. And like, it's way different than what I'm doing. Why can't we both support each other?
Right.
How has that journey been for you? Because we've had numerous little side conversations between clients around that. And it's like, I don't know, I go places and I'm just like, I want to like be the hype guy for those people in different seasons. And I hope they do it in return. Like, I think there's so much space in fitness and wellness and mindset and coaching that it's like no one person has to like step on others to get to the top. We can all exist next to each other.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's funny, man.
Yeah, I think at least I could speak in the bodybuilding space too. You know, it's like, okay, when we're talking about, clients and getting clients, it's like sometimes I've been guilty of this too. It's like, okay, when people choose certain coaches, I'm like, okay, why they choose that coach rather than me, right? Like, let's say they both, like, that client knows me and him. Why they choose him over me if we do the same thing, like little things like that.
Sure.
And so I've been in that space of like jealousy almost. Mm-hmm. And so, and again, that's something I caught. I had to catch that. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Nope, come back. I'm like, he's my friend too. That coach is my friend. So why am I feeling envious of the fact that he got this client and that, that client went to him instead of me? Like, why do I feel some type of way? Like, it's not about me. It was never about me. It doesn't make me a bad coach. And so that was what I was making it about me, and I'm not good enough, like all those little, limiting beliefs kind of came back. And it was like, like maybe I'm not a good coach, or maybe I don't know as much as, like, does he think, like maybe he knows more than I do, or, like all these little things have to come up. And so I had to zoom out and be like, no, wait a minute, maybe that person just resonated more with that coach or whatever, but not making it about me. Mm-hmm. And so focusing on my craft, what I do, the people that I serve, and just getting better and continue to up my knowledge. The people that are supposed to be, the people that are my people that I'm supposed to serve, they're going to come to me. And as long as I continue to show up every single day as my full, authentic, magnetic, and abundant version of myself every single day, that's all that matters. So
that's extreme maturity, man. That's not easy.
Yeah, it's not, and I've had to work on that. So, going back to what you said, it's like now it's like, okay, like, I have I have some of your merch, I have some of business merch, I have Mike G's merch, I have TD's merch, so being able to celebrate one another too. I mean, it's super dope. It's super dope thing to see, because again, we can all eat. There's enough business to go around for all of us.
Yeah, I agree, man. Also, it's very hard, because I was thinking about this. I said this to my wife yesterday. I was watching just all these different NBA contracts come through in the off season. I was like, man, like these guys sign like 3, 4, 5 year deals. Mm-hmm. So they go through contract negotiations monetarily, like not that often. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're doing some business things on the side, but like you and I have to discuss money every day. Why is this investment worth it? Why is preventative health, which is how I view our space, preventative health versus reactive health, which is mandatory?
Yeah.
You need health insurance in the event of, getting in a car accident.
Right.
But like we're scraping gum off the floor to be like, hey, if you take care of yourself now, you won't have to rely on that later.
Yeah.
But you have to believe in the thing that you can't see. And when you do this, who you become is going to be such a better, vibrant, more abundant, magnetic person. You're going to have more muscle. You're going to have a better life. You're probably going to make more money. You're going to have more adventure. You're going to create better relationships. You and I both know the work works.
Yeah.
But we're selling work. We're not selling hey, if you get in a car accident, we're going to save your life.
Yeah.
So it seems less valuable.
Yeah.
From a marketing perspective. But in reality, it's like, you should make this investment consistently. And so I'm excited to see where the world goes with data trackers and all the things and how those play a role in health insurance costs, and maybe health insurance companies, providing some sort of stipend towards trainers, towards coaches, towards the shifts in lifestyle, so we can get less obesity and people living a higher quality of life.
Right.
But it's a hard sell, man. Like the business is the hard side of things. The coaching is the fun side of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Where can people find you, dude? Where can people check out Natty Boy Lobby? Where can people learn more about you and your services and all the cool things that you got going on?
Definitely. Right now, just my Instagram page. So Natty Boy Lobby on Instagram and on TikTok. Mainly Instagram. That's where I focus a lot of my fitness content on there. So my inquiry sheet is also attached to my bio as well. So if you're looking to work with somebody who is trying to focus on building a physique that you can be proud of, that's essentially what I do. So that link is in my bio.
You do it really well, man. I mean, our boy Scott lost a lot of weight and put on a lot of muscle this last year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited for Scott. So
I'm pumped for him. He's going to be on the show in a couple weeks. We got him scheduled, which is dope.
Let's go.
Lastly, we didn't talk about it a lot today. We can do it on our part 2 with you in the future.
All right.
Tell me about this comedy real quick. Like, what's the comedy stuff that you do? It's pretty dope. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. It also just like, when the world seems a little heavy and there's all the news and going on, it's like a laugh can save a lot of lives and get people steering in the right direction.
Definitely. Yeah, man. As far as the comedy goes, I definitely wouldn't call myself a comedian in any sense of the term. I think there's a lot more that goes into being a comedian, sure. Especially when it comes to like stand up and whatnot. But for me, I love comedy. I've always loved comedy. I love to laugh, so for me, I noticed that when I got into the fitness space and just trying to find my way into the fitness social media game, one thing that I noticed is that everybody felt the same. I was seeing a lot of the same stuff, the same.
This is how you do a lateral raise. Here's the right way to optimize, this muscle building things. Here's your food for the day.
Yeah, like this is my workout. Like this was my workout. Swipe workouts. That was the typical thing that I would see all the time, and then of course physique stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna show that, but also too, like, I just, you know, if that's all I'm showing, that seems kind of boring. And so I would have all these ideas of like, you know, like, what if somebody did a reel about, you know, this, but, you know, make it about fitness, or did this. And I'm like, what if I did it? And so literally I started doing these right when I got to self-made, and I had the idea. I was like, yeah, but I don't know how to edit videos and reels and whatnot. Like, and what if I don't execute it right? You know what I mean? Like, what if it's just not funny? What if it's whack? What if it's corny? What if, you know, people don't really vibe with it? And so I was like, you know what? Let me try it. So I tried it, and the first two reels that I did actually blew up.
Nice, dude.
They went viral. This is when reels first started too.
Sure.
So this is 2021. And yeah, the first two blew up, and then from there I was like, okay, like maybe I have something here.
Yeah.
And then from there I just kind of kept it consistent to where, you know, any audios that I would see on Instagram that I could flip and, you know, make it relate to fitness in some way, but still be comedy, then I would do it. So that was like my thing. So I would save a whole bunch of different audios that I would hear, and I'd be like, okay, I can flip it and have it be this situation in the fitness space. And I would just post it. And so
I love it, man.
Yes.
It's very difficult to do some of that stuff. It feels cringe. It feels like you're going to get made fun of. And then it's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
And I heard this girl say this the other day. She was like, yeah, like I might be the most cringe person on the internet, but it pays my bills, and now I'm buying a house in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
And so it's like, judge if you want, but I mean, Gary Vee wrote the blueprint on that. Just like put it out there and figure it out as you go. And so for anybody out there, guys, like put yourself out there. If you have this song inside, go sing it. Let your light shine. Lobby's a walking testimony of that. And if you're looking to enhance your physique, you're looking to enhance your mindset, your lifestyle. I've watched this guy do it consistently, time and time again. He puts in great work, carves out space for great conversation. He deeply cares about his clients, and he puts in the work. And I admire that, man. Game recognized game. So I appreciate you popping in here, big dog.
I appreciate you, Bryce.
Guys, if you enjoyed my conversation today with Natty Boy Lobby and Mr. Lobby himself, please rate, review, subscribe, and share with your friends. And as always, stay on the hunt for who you've not yet become. Till next time.